everybody.
The Ravens are probably going to win. They have one of the best offenses in history right now.
Lamar Jackson is a more explosive.
I think Baltimore pulls it out.
Nothing to work with. Pile driven by the rookie. Goddard, tiptoes, touchdown, Philadelphia. Pick one. Oh, here he goes. And the touchdown!
This is a big win for this team.
Yes, it is.
What's up, everybody? Tuesday night hangout. Had to play the hype video again because why not? It's a win. That one feels like a fantastic one, and obviously that was 2 weeks ago, and then we go into the home game, obviously, versus Carolina, and everybody knows what took place there, which we will get into that. But before we do, we got to have some positivity. Start with that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. See everybody there. Appreciate the support. We're almost to 88,000 subscribers. You guys are unreal. I mean, it's insane where this channel started, where we're headed towards. We're almost 10,000 away from 100,000 subs. It's nuts. Y'all are the best. Could not do it without you guys. And yes, as Fanny says, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the last video to make sure that you're entered into the ticket giveaway. So officially the Eagles-Steelers game this week on Sunday, I'm going to be giving away 2 tickets to that game. If you want to be entered into that, first things first, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And then all you got to do is go to the previous video and enter in Go Birds. That's all it takes. I'm going to be spinning for that winner tomorrow night. So Thomas and I have the Wednesday link. I will draw for it then. Don't worry, if you're not present, you don't have to be. If you win, I will post your information in the upcoming video. You'll have a heads up. We'll make sure that you have some time to get to it. So don't worry about that. Appreciate you guys, though. Make sure to hit the sub button. Lots to get into. Before we do, also one real quick shout out, because all the giveaways that we do, 90,000 subs, gonna have a signed Saquon Barkley helmet. Gotta give a quick hype to the sponsor, official sponsor of the show, Underdog. If you're not using Underdog Fantasy, you are missing out. It is available to you, even if you're in Pennsylvania. It's available to you. You just can't do the Pick'em. So Pick'em's my favorite, but you can still do draft leagues. And quite honestly, I've won more money on the draft leagues, the weekly draft leagues, than I have the Pick'em. If the Pick'em is available to you, though, that's what I've gone more so. And you just pick 2. You can pick up to 5, 6, 7 picks. If those hit, you win big. Thomas and I do it every week. We hang out on the live stream. It's a good sweat. And just use code Philly Special. And there you go. You can scan the QR code as well. Up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's what it'll get you. I will say, out of all the sweats that we have had this season during the games, it's been nothing like the $3.1 million bettor who... congratulations to that dude, I suppose. But please, if I said this in my past video, if anyone knows who that is, or if you have a friend of a friend who knows who that is, encourage that person to never take that bet. Like, it was just bad juju from the start. As soon as that bet took place, then you automatically knew that the game, despite it being 14 points to cover, was going to be a close one. I mean, I know it's not always that case, but I don't know if $3.1 million to win $400,000. Yeah, my guy was sweating quite a bit. That was a lot more, I'm sure, than what he bargained for. He still won it, so cool. You turned your 3.1 into 3.5 million. Wouldn't have been worth it to me. Nonetheless, I appreciate Underdog. We're not doing anything of that size or magnitude at all. I think the biggest that I've put up there is maybe a $100 bet, $100 pick 'em. Most of them are like $5 to $10 parlays. Every once in a while, I'll do 2 picks. But trying to hope it was a Dallas fan. Yeah, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be. That's true. They could have just been a random fan throwing it out there. Feels like you have to have something, extra insight. Like, yeah, I'm going to cheer on my birds here. Let's go ahead and put the 3.1 million down. But it could have been. That's true. Jason, what's up? From Vegas. Eagles fan from Vegas. There you go. This is the best part about it. Again, the community, you guys make this possible, but Eagles fans from literally all over the world, all over the country, all over the world. It's a blast. So appreciate you guys. I'm going to say this because, again, before we get into all of the rumors, the drama, some pessimistic viewpoints I'm sure that people have. Yes, there's criticism. We're going to go there. But I've got to start out with some positivity, which we usually do. But the Eagles won. The Eagles beat Carolina. It feels like a loss, and that's fair because, yes, you should have beat them by more. It should not have been close. Yet it was, and you just live with that. But I would still say it's like, okay, was it a trap game? Maybe. I didn't believe that it was. Brian, you're asking what is slow mode? That's taking a shot there, sir. Is that Jalen reading a defense? It's a good one. It's a good one. I haven't seen that one so far. Let's see. Connecticut, Cape Coral, Florida, DMV, Richmond, Virginia. Eagles fan from Denver, South Carolina. See, there you go. That's what I was talking about. It's all over the place. Brazil. Jenny with a 2. Let's go. The sticker there, number 1. Appreciate that, Jenny. Thank you. But like I was saying, the Eagles got to win, yet it does feel like a loss. I mean, if we're being honest, how many of you, whether you listen to a talk radio show, WIP, if you're listening there, or just name one, you go anywhere on social media, heck, maybe you yourself personally coming away from that, and it feels like a loss. Now, I would argue that it's like, yes, you should play better, but they still got the win. And so this Carolina football team that we took care of business, they played teams closer. The Chiefs kick a field goal last second. Yeah, see, iThumb says, bro, one-off game, and now the sky is falling. Shaking my head. That's the vibe that I get from a decent amount. I won't go and say majority because I know that a lot of us are of the mindset of going, you know what, look, it wasn't the best, but this team can ride the ship. It's one game, and they're going to be okay. But there's a decent amount of people that Eagles fans, mind you, not just people, Eagles fans, because there's going to be, there's haters all across the league, but Eagles fans that are out there going like, I told you, I was waiting for this. Like, the question that I would have to come back to that is, okay, so were you telling me this into this 9-game win streak at all times? Was it still like it? Nah, I'm not buying. No, maybe not. At some point, you beat the Commanders, you beat the Ravens. Come on now. Really? I understand you could make the case before where it's like, yeah, there's not as great of a schedule, not as, difficult opponents. They've proven it. This team, whether you want to buy into the offense or not, let me just say this, whether you want to buy into the offense or not, this team is an elite defense. They have an elite defense. They're number 1 in the NFL in passing or in total yards allowed. They're one of the top in points allowed. They also have not allowed more than 20 points since the bye week. The Bucs game, contrary to last season, what the 49ers did and broke us in a negative way, in a terrible way, the Bucs game broke us kind of in a positive way. Like it was, oh my gosh, yes, there's PTSD, there's anxiety, there's stress, there's everything else there. But as soon as that game took place, then you go into the bye week and look at what has happened since the bye week. So, I don't know, I would just say, let's pump the brakes if there are those people there. Again, most people hanging out on the stream here, I think, are a little bit more of the objective mindset. Not saying it's perfect, it's not. But no team is perfect. Like we could throw out Detroit, right? Like as great as people want to make out Detroit, played a really close Bears game against the Bears. Coulda, shoulda, maybe lost that one. The defense looked very beatable against Green Bay. That's another one that you could throw out there. There's so many of these opponents that all of a sudden, see, Isaac here, thank you. You're voicing exactly how I feel. It's one bad game. Let's not lose the plot. We are a dominant team. Thank you. 1-2-5, we beat the Packers, Commanders, Ravens. Yep. Again, the Panthers also, not only to the Chiefs, but we talk about the Tampa Bay Bucs. Bucs had to go into overtime, barely eke out a win against the Carolina Panthers. They're a completely different team than they were at the beginning of the season. So I just bring all that up to say, it's any given week, we can gather some things, yes, from a long duration of a 9-game win streak. But if we go to the minute, let's just look at it from a 1-game stance, you cannot draw any conclusions. In my opinion, you cannot draw any conclusions about one team, good or bad, from one football game. If we did that, look at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills got demolished by the Ravens. What, 35-10? Josh Allen against the Texans threw 9 for 30 on completions, 80 yards, 85 yards. But nobody, hey, not saying that Jalen and Josh Allen are the same. There's some similarities there that people would throw out. But it's one game. Heck, the Bills almost lost to the Jets, 23-20 earlier in the season. Look at what teams are doing all of a sudden. Yes, Tyler, we dominated the Rams that just beat the Bills. They put up 44 points on Buffalo. And we held them to really more so 14? We held them to 14. They got 20, but really, for all intents and purposes, 14. Even if you say that, though, still 20 points. Have not allowed more than 20 points to this defense since the bye week. So I just say let's slow the roll on the sky is falling. If there's people out there that are saying that. Anyway, I had to just share that. Philly Don said, but it's not just one game, Josh. The passing game has been suspect at most for pretty much the whole season. It's not for running game and defense. We could be in a total situation. I wanted to start out with some positivity. I'm going to save that comment, and we are going to get there because I've heard it before, and I do have a thought on it. You're not totally wrong, in my opinion, but I understand you. I understand you. What I'm going to start out with here, before we get into, we're delaying this, before we get into a little bit more of the critiquing, Psychedelic Sidekick, appreciate the two, said it, as they say, any given Sunday. Yes, sir, that is exactly right. Any given Sunday. This is why these upsets always happen. Close games, teams that should not be there. China, the sky isn't falling. It's just making me anxious. Brian, I don't think the sky is falling, but we're 31st in the passing game. Vile Center, yeah, the passing game was great against Cincinnati. Okay, before we get there, one quick thing. Give me one positive takeaway. We've done this before. We've done this exercise before. Sometimes it's for more therapeutic reasons. Before we go into the constructive criticism, the negativity, the pessimism, whatever you want to call it, give me one positive takeaway that you saw from this Eagles football team. Granted, yes, you played a team that you should have beat by more. They should not have been that close. Some people might argue that it was luck. I will not. But should Xavier Legette have caught that pass at the end? Yeah, you got fortunate. Should a face mask have been called before that and it would have been a moot point? Yes, it should have. So I'm not going to if this happened, if he had made the catch, the Eagles miss me with that. There's so many other things that could have happened in the game and it didn't. You won the game, but still, give me one positive takeaway. Offense, defense, special teams, individual play, coaching, whatever you want to take. Give me one positive. You can give me multiple, but I'm curious. No INTs. Was that SB? Yeah. Marcel with the interception from CJ, I'm assuming. Remo Quinyon. I keep wanting to say Quintanamo, but I know it's officially Quinyon because he wore the hoodie for that. Frank, defense is a leaks. Saquon is MVP. Mr. KDA, we're 11-2. Philly Freak, a win is win. We would have lost this game last year. See, that's exactly how I'm feeling. That would have been a loss last year. No way, shape, or form or way about it. Like there is, the team last year would have imploded. They would have not found that fight. And let's be honest, the defense played probably its worst game, if not one of the worst games at home. And they still were able to get enough to slow down the Carolina offense to 16 points. Defense last year doesn't do that. Let's see. Tyler, it's also very frustrating. These refs, the refs are missing huge calls by a ridiculous margin. I'll actually put this on the screen really quickly if I can find it. There we go. Yeah, the misses are, I say it almost every week, but it's comical by the fact that they don't get, let me make sure that I can actually make this work. There we go. Yeah, it's comical that these don't get called because it's a blatant and obvious face mask there. Now, you could argue if the opposing ref or the ref on the other side was the only one, yeah, but the down judge is number 63 is right. I mean, he's looking right at the play. I don't know how you, what are you looking at there? How do you not see that and make that call? I mean, it's ridiculous. That's what it is. But you're right. It's every single week. Avonte Maddox with the return or the catch down there, the punt. That was good. First Calcaterra touchdown. I like that one. Good for him. He was literally about to quit. Not just, not because of anything, but the concussions, in college. Even then getting to the league, he's had issues and injuries. So let's see. Gardner Johnson isn't injured. Is that the positive? I'll take it. That's fair. Vile Senate Brian Johnson is no longer the offensive coordinator. There's our positive from you. Okay. YTS, what's up, man? How's it going? Brian will give multiple. I like this. Okay, Brian. The defense, Zack Baun, Saquon Barkley. Yes, he did. He had 124 yards on the ground. That's a good one. I mean, heck, Saquon, here's the issue with this, and this is about to get into all of the other stuff. Saquon Barkley broke the franchise record in rushing yards. He's what, 1,623, something like that? I'd have to look at the exact number. I think that's what it is, where he ended up. 1,623 rushing yards, or around that number. This game should have been the Eagles won. Saquon Barkley just broke the record. Chance to go and break the NFL rushing record now. He still has all that in front of him, but the lack of attention that got because of the Eagles played a close game. It was a nail-biter. They should have taken care of business. And then the AJ comment, which, yes, we'll get into more of that. It's just, you hate for that to get overshadowed. Because what Saquon is doing it's historic. Like, there's really, you run out of words to describe what Saquon's doing. And it's every single week. And yes, Tyler, great call out there. He broke it in 13 games. It's not like he had 16 games or 17 games. He broke it in 13. The dude is think about this. If Saquon has 121 rushing yards average for the remaining 4 games, he breaks the NFL rushing record. Only 120. I mean, that's solid. It's strong, but still only 121 rushing yards from Saquon in 4 games, and he's got the NFL title. Heck, if he has a 200-yard rushing game, then all of a sudden that average is much less. If he keeps up his average right now, all he needs is 80 carries. If he carries the ball 80 times, at the yards per carry average he has, 6.1 yards a carry, 80 times, and it's done. It's insane. Let me get to these super chats. I'm running behind. Let's see. I got the psychedelic one there. Appreciate that. Devontae with a 5. Appreciate it. Said at this point, if his plays come with turnovers, but has more touchdowns, then so what? We can't be basic with this all-star offense. I want to win a chip. I agree. And we'll just jump in here. This is going to be all over the place, I know, because of the super chats. But we'll jump in there now. We might as well. I agree with you. Jalen was not as bad as people want to completely say. And I get like emotions in the heat of the moment, but still, if you look at some viral clips, you look at some what people are saying on Twitter, it's going as far as being like, put in Kenny Pickett. We scrap Jalen. He should not be this quarterback. Play Pickett. I mean, come on now. Let's not go overboard to the extreme. Jalen is still the man, and he can be. The thing about Jalen, though, is a lot of times he'll take the criticism and he's going to show you or try to prove it like, okay, fine. And what were people saying at the beginning of the season? It was not like, oh, Jalen can't throw the long ball. He can't take deep shots. It was, if anything, maybe he's being too aggressive. Maybe it's a little bit of hero ball. Maybe he's trying to extend the play more than he should. But when you take a step back, then it's like, well, he keeps on turning the football over. Like that was the really MO. That was the reputation that he had established, or at least the people had put on him, right, wrong, or indifferent. But yeah, for the last 19, 20 games by week 3, week 4, the previous 20 games, he'd had like 19 turnovers, one of the most, if not the most, in the NFL. So fine. But then what did he say? Not long after that, in a presser, he made some improvements. He was throwing some touchdown passes, but also not turning the football over. And he basically was like, say I can't. I'll prove it to you. Say I can't. And that's what he's done. Now, to the extreme, Devontae, again, I agree with you, because you go back and you watch the film, there are moments where Jalen did have a guy and he got a little bit of pressure. So for those, I give him a pass. But there are also plenty of moments, if you look at the film, that if he gets rid of the ball quicker, yes, it's a tight window throw, but it's a throw he can make. And he's got, like, let's also be honest, it's not like he's throwing to nobodies. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got DeVonta Smith. Doesn't have necessarily Dallas Goedert, but kind of uses him sparingly anyway. Grant Calcaterra played well. You've got weapons. You have guys that you can throw the football to. But it does. It feels like perhaps it's against certain competition where maybe he feels like, oh, I don't have to be extra aggressive. I don't know. Baltimore, he didn't do it, especially over these last couple games. So it's hard to say, is it the last couple games that it's just getting worse, or is it specific teams and what they're doing or how they're forcing him to try to make a little bit tighter window throws? I can't 100% pinpoint it, because you also go look at the Jaguars game and you say, man, some of the throws that he made on that. Now, the receivers made a play, but he still gave them an opportunity. But now it looks like, to your point, you see him take a drop, and you're like, bro, AJ's open. Devontae's open. Calcaterra's open. Like, I shared it in the last video that I dropped, but you see there's a screenshot. I took a screenshot of it, and I just left it up there. It's a second down, I think, in the second quarter. Jalen has an easy first down. You see he's got a clean pocket, and he could literally hit 3 options of receivers, and he's not getting the ball out. So, yeah, there's some hesitancy. Now, it's, again, playing Monday morning quarterback, Tuesday night quarterback, whatever we want to call it, armchair quarterback. Like, I know it's a lot more difficult to see the TV view versus get behind the O-line. Is his vision impacted? Can he see those as well? No, he's mentioned it. I think the Sirianni's also said the same thing for Kellen Moore. It's obstructed by the view of the offensive line at times. So just because we may see an open receiver, he might not see it. But we've gone enough games now in a row where I think that Jalen recognizes that, and it's like, okay, we're going to make some adjustments. They say they're making adjustments. They say they're going to. Kellen Moore mentioned it. Quite honestly, Kellen Moore is sounding more and more like Sirianni in these press conferences. He did early, but it's like even more so. We're getting like PC answers with him saying a whole lot of everything without really saying anything at all, or a whole lot of nothing without saying anything. I don't know. I do believe that they can make some adjustments, and I'm still in on this team. There's too many weapons. You can see that Jalen has the ability and has actually thrown over the middle of the field better than he had previously, better against the blitz. But the one, I don't know, glaring biggest factor to me is if you look at his time to throw has increased over the last couple weeks, yet it's not increased his ability or his yards per attempt average increasing, him getting the ball down the field, pushing the ball down the field. So that's the part where it's probably the most concerning. And again, it's why A.J. Brown said what he did about the passing game. What's the issue? Why were you frustrated? What needs to be better? Passing. Now, we could argue what A.J. meant by that. Is it specifically a certain player? Was it a scheme thing? Because there are times, yes, scheme-wise, that it's affected. But I will get to those comments. I need to hit on these other super chats as well. Wes with a 5 bomb, appreciate that, said, what is the beef all about? Well, we're kind of getting into it now, I suppose. It's, Wes with another 10 bomb. Let's go to 15 in total. Appreciate that. What is all the beef with Jalen and AJ? Okay, so the beef about and the beef with Jalen and AJ. Charles, I'm going to get to yours too. I just skipped to get to Wes's second because it was the same topic. Yeah, it's hard to say for sure. Frank from Philly, what's up, man? Didn't necessarily miss anything. We're just talking about potential changes, what they're going to get. Remo, the media got an early Christmas gift. That's a great way to put it. They were talking about, they didn't start. The crazy part is it wasn't even like I try to struggle with how to say this. It wasn't even like a media generated, like think about last year. Last year, whenever the whole A.J. Brown thing was happening, that was a more media driven, taking what he's saying or trying to judge based on his emotions or how he acted on the sideline and say, oh yeah, like they can't stand each other or all these other things, right? Just to kind of draw some things from really small bits of info or even speculation. Like that's a dangerous game to play, and it's not a good one. The concern to me was not what, quite honestly, to me, the concern was not what AJ said. Like, after AJ made the comment of, hey, passing needs to get better, you can see that he's even smiling when he's giving those answers. To me, I'm like, he knows what he's not going to give the media a whole lot because he knows that they're going to twist his words anyway. He answered, I think Elliott Shore-Parks was the first person who asked, or maybe asked a couple questions. He's giving like one-word answers. Like he's giving 1 or 2 word answers, and then he's kind of grinning a little bit. You can tell he's getting a kick out of basically giving the media nothing, but answering some of their questions. Because, there's the requirement. They got to stand up there. They got to answer some questions. Fine. But not giving him near as much. It's not like a Malik Neighbors, right? Where he goes out there and clearly puts things on. It's not the QB. It's not the QB. It's maybe the head coach. Possibly so. Like AJ's totally justifiable to say the passing game sucks because it has. But that's not saying that it's all on Jalen. It's because Jalen also can go out there, and he has before, and said, we're not playing up to the standard. I'm not playing up to the standard. The team's not playing up to the standard. So, again, my opinion, maybe you guys disagree. From what AJ said, I don't believe that if and when Jalen saw that comment or saw the clip, that he immediately goes like, oh, I'm so offended now. Like, this is ridiculous. It blows it out of proportion. That's not an issue. The problem, because we were eventually going to get there, is BG's the best. BG's the legend. BG's the GOAT. Hate that he ended up going, hopefully not out for good, but out for this season on the injury, the way that happened. We've had him on the show. Big fan. Again, great guy. But for Brandon Graham to say what he did about Jalen and AJ, that they were friends, but then the business and the personal side changed, and kind of inferring that like the friendship is not what it was, is a little concerning. Like, quite honestly, when I first heard that clip, I was like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. Like, I had to watch it 2 or 3 times to go, is that BG? Is BG the one that's saying that? Because, I mean, if there's one person that we're going to say is going to like have maybe overboard praise, overboard optimism, is going to be BG. He's going to hype up all the guys. So as soon as I saw that and heard that, I go, wow, that is, I mean, that speaks volumes. Because if BG's saying that, as the vet that he is, he's been around well long enough to know exactly how that's going to be interpreted. There's something there. Now, he did end up coming back. Yes, he apologized. He said that he didn't actually have all the info, that he might have, said more or too much. What he was saying also about like, hey, Jalen and AJ, they need to talk it out. They need to keep it internal. Don't share. Don't do that publicly. Jalen's trying. AJ should be better. That type of deal. BG basically did that to the media. And so that was where it was like, man, it's kind of a double standard feel. I don't necessarily know. And I appreciate him walking it back. He apologized publicly. He said he was going to apologize to them directly. That's cool. I think that they can move past this. So I don't think that it's going to be a locker room type of issue, but it just makes me question, like, BG walking it back and saying like, oh, well, I didn't have the context, the details, and everything else. You still don't know for sure like what the truth is, and it's just a little bit alarming, like I say, because it was BG. If it was another player, or certainly if it was a media member that's like, oh, hey, AJ and Jalen are at odds, and it's like, whatever. Like, okay, you could tell me that. But it's just like, I don't know why in any world that I could have ever imagined that BG would say that. So I still think that they're okay. Tyler, it's a great point. Yes. What Landon said that it's not, I'm assuming this is what you're referring to, but Landon said that it's not 2023 vibes. It's not last season vibes at all. This team is different. We're not going in that direction. So we shouldn't panic. Nobody should be concerned. Said that AJ, there's not a selfish bone in his body. He's like, he's a great leader. I'm paraphrasing, but kind of to that extent. I would just say that Frank from Philly, BG, I love him, but he should have stayed out of it, period. Maxwell, Philly players just got to keep telling the media, I'm here so I won't get fined. At this point, that probably would be the best scenario. I don't know why you just, like, I get that BG's got his segments. I totally appreciate that. Like Weeda Source says, BG opened up a whole different can of worms. He did. It wasn't going to be as big an issue. You just move forward and say, all right, Steelers game, fix some things. We'll see. If the passing game is still an issue at that point, then okay, maybe it's getting up to a little bit more of a boiling point. We'll figure it out. But by BG saying that, then it does. It makes it either it was not a problem, but now it is one, or it was a problem. Like, it feels like it's one of those two scenarios, even if he's walking it back. So I don't, quite honestly, I don't know exactly where to feel with this whole thing, because if you look at, clips and videos, and Jalen and AJ and Sirianni said, like, no, that they're fine. They eat lunch all the time together. Based on what I've seen, it's all good. You could still argue the counterpoint to that of, is Sirianni covering for him? Sure, he may be. It may not be exactly to the extent that it was. But again, you go back to, if BG's going as far as saying that, then I don't know. It's not a great look. I wish he hadn't said that. And I'm going to be honest, I did not want to be talking about that. Like, when I posted the video, I texted Thomas this too. I was like, I hate terrible news. I hate it. And people are like, oh, hey, why are you talking? Well, because why is BG saying, like, again, I don't want to, but it becomes the story. It becomes relevant. It's not one of these media-driven articles or speculations. It's BG saying it himself. And so anyway, I believe that they can move past it. It was just very shocking to hear that news. Charles with the 2, appreciate that. Said red zone offense was great. Thank you. Okay, the positivity. Yes. The team has been good red zone wise. Even passing, I took Jalen over 1.5 touchdowns, and that hit. So shout out to Underdog in the parlay there. The one that did not was Smitty over 8.5 yards in the first quarter. They could not seem to get it to him. They got one bubble screen pass that went for 3 yards. It was like Brian Johnson was calling the offense for the first quarter. But that's been the whole season. Brian Johnson has been, he's going to get some backhand here, really take some shots, even though he's no longer here. The Eagles offense has been Brian Johnson calling the shots in the first quarter. It's crazy. You think about the fact that Brian Johnson was better just in terms of first quarter, right? Like, because actually it would a lot of times be, the scripted plays for the first possession or 2 possessions were decent, and then there were no adjustments. You could not make any adjustments off of it. We'd be like, okay, we started okay. And then, after that, it gets really difficult the rest of the game. Usually that was more than not. That was the case last season. This year, 32nd in offensive efficiency in the first quarter. The Eagles have scored 17 points in the first quarter. Yes, there's Maxwell. Brian Johnson pulling strings. Arctic says, hire Brian Johnson. Who said Cody Pickett? Somebody say that before? Oh, Clyde. Start Cody Pickett. Yes. Well, see, there's how that's how we know it's a troll. You're not even going to say the first one. Yeah. But no, it's 32nd for the first quarter. But then the remaining quarters, like I've said, quarters 2, 3, 4, second in the league. Offensive efficiency, much better. Red zone, again, been good. Even in the passing game, it's outside of the red zone, though, where it's been too many issues, quite frankly. And it's difficult to say, but it's like sometimes it's like it's a forced script. And Kellen Moore talked about it in the press conference today, and he said, like, when we script it, when we plan it out, a lot of it is almost for the entire first half. Like they're going not just the first drive, not just the first quarter, but a lot of it is almost you have a good idea of what you're going to run offensively for the first half. Now you can, again, make some adjustments off that. Usually it gets better by the second quarter because they're probably already making some adjustments then. But they do have a plan going into it of potentially going a full half. So it's almost as if, and we saw this in the Carolina game. Look, Carolina is they were the worst run defense in the league. And the fact that they did not just continue to run the ball every single down is, quite frankly, idiotic. Like, I know you want to be this versatile offense where you can run the ball, you can pass the ball, but, and going back to, I know this was a while back, but Philly Don, your comment of the passing game, the issues there, defense, or passing game not being able to kind of pressure the defense. You're too one-dimensional with the running game. Okay, so I hear that, yes. But my question, I guess, is at what point can this team, could you honestly say, well, I don't know if this team can win the way the makeup is right now. Like, oh, this team needs to be better. They do need to be better. I will say that. They do need to be better. We see it. But can this team still win with the passing game being shaky? On one hand, you sure say, oh, well, once you get to playoff teams, you got to be able to have this. You're not going to be able to do this against the other team. Everybody said the same thing against Baltimore. Everybody said the same thing against the Rams. Everybody said the same thing against Washington. You've seen it time and time again, and you actually threw the ball well. You turned the ball over against Green Bay, but that's where I'd go to. It's a happy medium. I think you can be a little bit more aggressive, even at the risk of a turnover here or there. You could be a little bit more aggressive. But so far, they've answered the call. Again, is it too reliant on Saquon Barkley? Maybe, but you've got a league MVP in him. You got him, you got the O-line. So to me, it's, again, yes, you need to be better in that area, but I don't think it's one of those where you say, well, that's it. I mean, this team, maybe they can win one playoff game, but beyond that, it'll probably be over because, Jalen Hurts in the passing game aren't going to be able to get it done. They still have some time to make those changes and adjustments, so I'm believing that for one. But then also, cold weather game, running the football, and this defense being elite. I'm just saying. I know it's not apples to apples, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he won a Super Bowl in 2022, which sadly we remember, but 2 of the playoff games, he threw less than 200 yards. Like, it's not always about the yardage. Jalen does not throw very often, yes. And does he miss opportunities? Yes. More than Mahomes. I'm not saying he's Mahomes. I'm just saying yardage-wise, it's okay if he's throwing for less yards. It's just take advantage of a few more opportunities. And the running game is complementary to the defense. You have a number 1 defense in the NFL. Run the ball. Possessions are shortened. It allows your defense to make some stops. All of a sudden, you got a really close game here, and the Eagles, right, wrong, or indifferent, they have been good at finishing out games. You can trust them late. Even if they've been struggling, you could trust them late. And I said this earlier on the show as well, but look, you don't get to 11-2 without the ability to overcome some adversity, to fight through some things. They've shown the grit, the toughness, the physicality, everything basically that they did not have last season. So I'm really not as worried. Ethan there, we can beat any team, even the Lions and Bills. They aren't untouchable teams. We just need to play well, but this is, there you go. I don't know if it's 1,000 times better, but I do agree it's much better. We have 4 weeks to figure it out. That's a full month. You're right, it is. We got 4 more games. And let's see. Frank getting exposed on somewhat fast. Sorry, I know sometimes with the slow-mo turned on, it helps without the trolls, but with the typos, fast pace, getting exposed on somewhat a fast pace. Yeah, potentially. But it's a lot of times late game situations too. And Fangio did something that he doesn't usually do either. The last possession, or maybe the last 2 possessions, I think he blitzed 7 of the last 8 plays. So he's just throwing the kitchen sink at Bryce Young, trying to, go somewhere else. I don't know. He makes adjustments. Sometimes it's early in the game, they score, and then all of a sudden it changes. I just say you trust the defense. You trust the defense a lot more than the offense. And that's okay. It's not anything that I don't think anyone realistically could admit that at the beginning of the season, oh yeah, I'm going to trust, if before the season starts, who do you trust to win a game? Offense or defense? Realistically, I don't know that anybody was going in there saying, oh yeah, Vic Fangio with a lot of these new guys, pass rush not solidified, who's going to be the other edge? Is Bryce Huff the answer? All these other questions that we had, I don't think these were really there. But yet now, I mean, it's trust the defense. They're doing it. Maybe have some leaky moments, some bend but don't break. So bend a lot, but they haven't broken, at least whenever it's mattered. Tyler with a 20 bomb. Let's go. So the last time AJ complained about passes not coming his way Two before the Steelers game 2022 went for 156, and 3 touchdowns. Theory that this is huge stunt by the players setting up for a blowout like we've been wanting. Your thoughts? That's also a good comment. I appreciate that. I could very well see. Look, I'll just say I'm going to at least put one parlay together of an AJ over because the comments there, and for one, the Eagles wanting to crush all of the narrative and everything else, but AJ just needs to be more involved. Like, AJ is the best whenever targeted in the NFL. He just hasn't had the same amount of targets. But if you get him the ball, this offense just changes dramatically. It's exponentially better in all phases, including the run game, because you make them pay for it. Loki, by the way, I missed the shout out earlier, but there you go. Let's welcome to the Let's Run It membership. I know you were already, but I guess you re-up there. So see the Kelly green helmet. Let's go. But yeah, I could see that. I mean, hopefully it's a repeat of what happened in 2022. I feel like it'll be a lot closer than that. However, the Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. At least that's what the line opened up as. So if you're considering that, I do have a feeling that the Eagles they're gonna take advantage. They're gonna prove something. It was a little bit of a trap game, a little bit of a letdown game, a reminder that any given week. But this is a big one. You got the national broadcast. You got CBS that's going to be there. Fox that's going to be there with Tom Brady. So everybody get hyped up for it. It's the game during the afternoon window. It would have been nice if they'd flexed it to primetime, I suppose. But, I'm all right with a later afternoon matchup. Take care of business. Get things done. Help me win my bet against Thomas. We got a $100 bet up, and I said the Eagles would win out. If they beat this Steelers team, I think I got a pretty good shot. It was a little bit closer last week, but yes, there's still the Commanders. After the Commanders, Dallas is not wanting to win. New York, same thing. They're not going to want to win. Maybe, depending on where the Lions are at that point, do you play your starters against the Giants? We'll see. But if you have to, because you're still battling and vying for that number 1 seed, then I say this is the big one. And then, yes, you still have to gear up for Washington in Washington. But I'll just say, if you get past this one, at $100, Thomas, keep it ready for me. Let's see. Peyton with the 20 bomb also. Let's go. Appreciate that. Said, I think the media is blowing the AJ and Jalen beef way out of proportion. They are grown men and professionals. I'm 100% sure they talked everything over at practice or even after the game. Everything will be fine. I do. I think that everything will be fine. Again, I will just say I think that some of it or a lot of it was more BG focused, because also I think we've gotten to the point where if it is a story that's just kind of coming out of nowhere and it's speculation, it feels like the vast majority of people can go like, whatever. Like, we'll read it, we'll listen to it, we'll hear it, but it's like, I know better than that. Like, it's not legit. But when BG says it, that's where I think it's been, you could argue, blown out of proportion, but at least carries a lot more weight. Still, though, I think that you're right. I think that if there's any at odds, if there's any lack of chemistry, whatever we want to call it, like, they're both extreme competitors, and they see the prize. They see what this is going to be. And I would still go back to AJ's comment that I don't think that was directly at Jalen. Maybe there was some, but I think it was overall just passing game in general and being like, look, this team is too good. Like, it's a combo, because there were 2 sacks that happened that, yes, again, we'll talk about Jalen holding the ball too long, but there's 2 in the game that, without a doubt, it would have been one for sure to AJ. Would have been a touchdown, a verticals route that he ran. These are longer developing routes, but you could tell he wanted to throw the football there. And Ashawn Robinson gets through, I guess it was, can't remember if it was Cam Jurgens on the handoff or Mekhi Becton, but one of those, and he gets through way too quickly. Jalen's not able to step in the throw and make the touchdown pass. It would have been a score. There's just no doubt in my mind. AJ Brown, deep shot, one-on-one, no safety and help coverage there. I want to say it was, what was that? I think it's the third quarter. I could be wrong. But there was definitely one play there that was like, okay, automatic. It's going to be a score. And, what are you going to do? But again, that's where the frustration comes from, because this team knows the potential of this group and they can be better. So there's no problem with calling it out. And I would agree. I think that they're professionals. They're grown men. They understand this. I don't get the same types of vibes if you look at some other drama things that have happened in Philly's past history. And it was kind of hilarious that Donovan, what did he call into the WIP or tweeted about it? And then Terrell Owens had a comment back as Freddie Mitchell shared anyway, I'm not going fully there, but more drama and speculation because it's like, oh, well, hey, there's quarterback wide receiver beef. There's drama here. We've seen this. We've lived through it. We've gotten past it. Like, it's not to the same extent. I don't know. No one will for sure know. But Joker mode has been activated. Mr. Always Open, AJ Brown changes his profile pic to the Joker, I believe. I think he still kept it there. So, yeah, look out for a big game for AJ. Let's just say that. Speaking of receivers, I'm going to get to these other super chats also. Appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. I'm going to be giving away two tickets to the Steelers game this Sunday. Tomorrow live stream is whenever I'll draw it. You do not have to be present. Like I mentioned, I'll share your name in the future video. Then you can contact me. I'll get you the tickets. Trust me, we'll make sure that you have it. Just stay tuned. Check out the channel. Subscribe. Turn the notifications on so you don't miss that. But yes, tomorrow night is whenever I'll draw those tickets officially. And if you've not already, again, once the channel gets to 90,000 subscribers, going to give away Saquon Barkley signed helmet. So appreciate you guys for that. The other news, as I was saying, for wide receivers, and this is Pittsburgh-wise, but George Pickens is, I believe he's doubtful officially, is what the designation will be. I don't think we've gotten any officials yet, but according to Mike Tomlin, he was saying that the George Pickens injury is worse than it appeared. So he had I believe it was an MRI. Trying to see if I can. Here we go. I'll get to it. He had a MRI trying to determine the extent of the injury, and it is, as Ian Rappaport shares here. I can put that on the screen. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. Mike Tomlin tells reporters that while George Pickens' hamstring could theoretically play this week, he's best described as doubtful. The hamstring is a bit worse than it appeared, which is, we don't wish injuries for everybody. Hopefully he gets better. You kind of catch a break, as I think Thomas had been mentioned, but catch a break for an injury like that going up against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that has a fantastic defense and a obviously very good weapon in George Pickens. It hurts him. So, let's see here. Yeah, I think it tells all that you need to know as well, as far as, if you're getting that type of info from Rappaport, Mike Tomlin saying that, theoretically, at best, doubtful. I think there was, like a second degree, or what was the official designation after the MRI? Yeah, be more significant. I forget what the exact... Well, I'm not finding here, but yeah, extremely small chance. Very much outside chance is also what he had said. So, Cold Cash with a 2. Appreciate that. Said it's Eagles versus Philly media every week. Yeah, there's a lot of that. It seems like a good bit of the time you get the matchup there. So it is what it is. Come to expect that, I suppose. Money Morris Poker also with a 5 bomb. Appreciate that as well. Says, jersey came in today. There you go. Thanks again, brother. You went above and beyond. Got me my dream jersey. Go Birds. We'll be all right. Adversity is good. There you go. I'm glad you got it. Sometimes they're delayed. I will say that. Sometimes it takes forever to get those things in. But as I mentioned too, you just give away all these different jerseys, signed items, memorabilia, everything else. It's only possible because of you guys, y'all's support, and as well the sponsors. Shout out to Underdog because they're a part of a lot, maybe not all, but a lot of the giveaways and the partnerships there. So could not do that without their support as well. Let's see some of the other comments as well. Let's see. Tyler, game plan for the Steelers should definitely be heavy run and deep shots. I mean, it certainly plays into what we're doing. Yeah, he's saving Pickens for the Ravens so that he can have, or they can have that devil magic. Let's see here. Yes, as we were saying as well. The AJ, I'm just getting to some of these comments as well. Weedosaurus, the ticket giveaway, how do you get on that? You just got to go and go to the previous video, the BG one. Type in Go Birds. There you go. As long as you do that, you're good. You're covered. And let me see. Let me try to. I'll update this as well, just because I know some people are asking about it. I'll just put the link in this video. So also, if people are watching this back, you could just click on the description, and I'll have that up there. So that way you can go to either one. But for those that are live, you might have to update, and then you'll be covered. All right. Let's see here. You got. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's the link. And I'll just put chance to win 2 tickets to Eagles versus Steelers. That works. All right. Again, so if somebody's watching this back, you'll be covered. If not, you need to refresh the stream, and then you can go down there to that link, or like I say, you can go back to the page now and check it out. Should be covered. Type in Go Birds in the video. That's all you got to do. You can do it on this one, but again, it doesn't work. So Matthew Branch, I appreciate that, as always. Usually happens. But there you go. Ramon. There we go. Another jersey that came in. Hey, Josh, Go Birds jersey came in today. Let's go. That was the, I think that was the custom one that I had to do because they didn't have, it's weird. Like sometimes the pro shop has the actual jersey and then other times you just go and do the custom and it's still the actual jersey, but it's like, I don't know, they have more inventory if you do the custom. So, but good. I'm glad to hear that the jersey came in. Anthony DeVonta tuning in. Let's go. So I'm tuning in late, but I hope it's been a great stream. I would say so. We've had a good talk about a couple different areas, obviously with, the offense in general, Jalen, AJ, PG's comments. We had to go there. Anthony should be, assuming all things work and schedule-wise sync up, but Anthony should be on for a recording dropping on Saturday, I believe, is the plan. So stay tuned for that. The man himself. Make sure to follow at DeVonta NFL. You're missing out if you're not doing that already, but I think most of you already are. John with the Go Mustache streak. That's true. It's still going on. Abram says, I think if we win out, the stash needs its own emote. Yeah, I guess I got to work on that. I'm trying to eventually. I'm just, slow roll. There's other things that I get stuck on, but I'm trying to get the Saquon out. So for all the members, you got a lot of other emojis that you can use in the chat, but not the Saquon yet. Hopefully that'll be out here very, very soon. All right. The other one that I was going to mention, actually with Anthony being here, it's probably appropriate for this. We were talking about positives from the game Sunday. Jalyx Hunt was phenomenal. And I'm going to play, Anthony put together a great clip. Here, I'm going to retweet it. So if you're following me on Twitter, then you're good to go there. If you're not, then, well, you should be. But you'll get to see a little bit of clips here. If you followed Anthony, you've already seen some of these. But, Jalyx Hunt made several really good plays. Getting more snaps, naturally, because there's not too many edge options for Vic Fangio. Bryce Huff still being out. You've got Chuck Harris played a few snaps, but ultimately, you got Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, and Jalyx Hunt playing the vast majority of those. And effort-wise, going through some double teams, making some stops in the run game. You know, Vic Fangio would still tell you, like, hey, he's got to work on some things, as all players do. But he made some impressive plays. That athleticism, versatility, definitely worth being shouted. Weedosaurus, no, there's no way. If they win the Super Bowl, Josh should get a nose ring. That is that is not happening. Nope. Isaac saying, no, Josh's stash needs a ring. Neither of those will be happening. Maybe the stash stays, but Braden, yes, the stash has been growing since, I think it was the second game of the win streak, but it's been going on since then. So I was going to cut it, and, you know, obviously now I can't. So it stays as long as we win. Connor playing Madden, Birds, Panthers, exclusively throwing to AJ. See, that's how you do it. Keep the offense going. There we go. There's some more positivity as well. Anthony says, effort is not a question with Nolan Smith and Jalyx Hunt. The future is bright on the edge in Philadelphia. Ben's, if the Super Bowl happens, Josh needs a super beard. DeVonta, we win a bowl. Josh gets braids. Philly, I don't know. Instant divorce. I don't know if that's what it is. That'd be difficult to, braided mustache. That might be. Gosh, that's going to the extreme. Some of these options are like, you can get away with them. Possibly. Perk, how did you grow a healthy mustache? It's a good question. I guess I'm just fortunate and blessed. I appreciate that you think it's healthy mustache. I don't know. It's, good genes. If it's a good one, I suppose. I don't know. Braden, love Hunt's personality too. Great of y'all to get him on the show. Yeah, shout out to Jalyx. Fantastic guy. Let's see. I think I've got also there's so many like links that I have. I try not to overwhelm necessarily, but if you've not already, Weedosaurus, well, yeah, I mean, not shaving is how the mustache happened. I don't think that was the question. I think it's like, is there a trick to getting it to grow, I suppose. Thank you, sir, for making sure on that one. Seems like obvious. If you've not given, though, I was going to make mention of this. If you've not given to the Jalyx Hunt Empowering Philly Future Athletes, please consider it. I know there's, lots of time trying to save money. Holiday season, it's already a very expensive time. But if you want to give back to the community, it helps an incredible cause. Me and Thomas are partnering with Jalyx. A lot of y'all already know that. If you've not, there you go. You're aware now. I'll post it here in the comments, in the chat as well. Anything helps. It goes to the GoFundMe page, but all of that 100% is going to Philly area basketball teams, high school basketball teams. And so Jalyx is going to be delivering the check or checks, and we'll get pictures, maybe videos as well that we'll be sharing. But the giving is going on till December 18th. So we got just over a week, and we're getting closer. We're getting closer to that goal. Let's see, what is the official? I'll pull it up here. Yeah, we're over 4,000 now. So appreciate you guys that have given. I was gonna make sure I can share that. But that's the page, and any amount, like I say, helps out a ton. Lots of y'all have already given, so we appreciate that. All right. Any last minute Q&A? Other topics, everything else. As I mentioned, the ticket giveaway I'm going to be doing tomorrow night on the stream with Thomas, so stay tuned for that one. Give people a little bit more time to get in if they've not already. So you can go down into the description, click on that. Shane with a 5. Let's go. Appreciate that, Shane. Said, me and my fiance will be at the game this Sunday. Josh, you going to be there? I am not, unfortunately. I would love to be at the game. I will not be there. Didn't work out schedule-wise. There's a potential that will be there for the playoffs. So we'll see. Let's see. Whoever has to pay the $100, there needs to be a special show for that one. And the other one has to wear a nuts hat. That's a good one. Maybe so. We'll see. Amanda, thank you for that. Fan from Brazil. Love watching the games with you and Thomas. Thank you. We've had a blast. As I said, we have had a blast doing that, streaming all the games. So like I said, we'll not be at the game in person, but we will be streaming the game this Sunday. So feel free to swing by for those that are not at the game and attendance there. And we are going to be streaming most of, if not all, the NFC playoff games. So, as you talk about like ramifications, what it means for Philly, that way we can kind of do some scouting, do a little bit of maybe cheering for potential teams perhaps, and see who the Eagles get. So, Charles, the way you enter is there's a link in the description. You can check that out. It says the enter for a chance to win the 2 tickets. Or if you just go back to the main page and watch the last video that I dropped, which is the BG one, or BG in the thumb, and just type in "Go Birds" in the comments. As long as you've done that once, you don't need to do it multiple times. You're only going to get one entry, and then I'll pick from that during the live stream tomorrow. Let's see. A couple other comments here. Fanny, did you see Zay Rogers give a 8-year-old girl his gold chain for her birthday? I think I did. I saw a couple different videos because he tweeted them. I think he shared it on Instagram as well. Zay is awesome with like interaction with the fans. It's not a surprise because he's been on a couple times, but when you talk about like engagement with the fans beforehand, he's always over there. The sideline passes, interacting with the fans, even over the end zones. And then after the game's giving away most of the time the cleats and everything else. So yeah, to give away gold chain like that, pretty cool. Not surprised because again, the guy that he is, but pretty cool to be able to do that. Let's see, John, how many grabs will AJ have this weekend? Let's see, that's a good question here. Let me look at real quick as you're asking that one, because I say. I'm going to take the over on one or maybe a couple things for AJ. Let's see if they've got it listed here. What they have is total. Sometimes it's too early, so they won't list much. Yeah, they don't have. All they've got is his yards. I would still probably take the yards over, even with his passing game, because it'll be more of an emphasis. I think 77.5 receiving yards is the line. Yeah, I would still. Even with what's happened. So I'm going to go with, I don't know, I'll say six receptions, 6 catches, 6 catches, 110 yards, and maybe a touchdown. That's what I'm feeling for AJ. Would love it if it was the, 155 and 3 touchdowns like he had back in 22, but we'll see. Maxwell will pick off Russell, hopefully so. Kramer, can you do the first quarter Thomas is mush? Maybe so. Perhaps we should change that up. It's something has not worked in the game stream for doing play-by-play with that. So Shane Pickens is doubtful. Very likely that he is out for Sunday. So I was talking about that a second ago, but he is very likely out. Mike Tomlin, it said doubtful as of right now, concerning with the hamstring. They were giving him a rest, but whenever they looked at the MRI, it was worse than they anticipated. So don't feel like that's the best sign for a receiver, especially with the other games that they have. And then on top of that, the playoff run that they're hoping to go on. So I would anticipate that he's out. But yeah, officially doubtful, as you're seeing several different comments as well. Let's see. Jay Shaw with a 2. Thank you for that. It says, hoping this issue will force the team to regroup. Hopefully so. Who was that? Oh, actually, yeah, it was Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah. Aaron Rodgers was saying like he felt like it might be good that BG said that because it got it out there. Maybe can galvanize the team, galvanize AJ and Jalen. Again, I think they're going to be okay. I don't know that I'm going to agree with everything that Aaron Rodgers says or does. But, yeah, it can be a good thing. I think a lot of things that even looked at or viewed as a negative point can be turned into a positive. So hopefully so. Let's see. Weezdog, we do good as underdog, especially when they got a team is locked to win. That's true. Let's see. Weedosaurus. What was that? 8th most? What was that? Oh, I'm missing that. Amanda, your dad bought a jersey after the Bucs game. We've been winning since. Okay. See, I'm just saying. So whatever works. Hopefully wearing the jersey every game too. Got to stick with it. Let's see. Frank from Philly. You think Thomas is right? We might lose one game. No, Thomas is wrong. I've already let him know that. That's why I took the bet. I took a $100 bet where I should have plus odds, by the way. Like the $100 bet that we made, it should technically be like, hey, I'll pay Thomas $100 if we lose. But if we win out, I should get paid like, I don't know what the odds exactly would be, but I'm assuming like I should get paid $400, $500. Because I said it before, like if you had gone and taken the 5 remaining games and you would just went money line, and you parlay those together, the payout is going to be pretty decent. So I gave him fantastic odds, but still, I'm confident. I said that we're going to win out. No, we are not going to lose one game. Let's see. Maxwell, I got a feeling they might stuff the run pretty good. Saquon will only have 100 yards. We'll see. Different running back, but Tyler, that's a crazy stat. You take Jonty's longest carry each game. He only averages 5 yards per carry. Yeah, that's still 5.1. It's pretty insane. Brandon, my opinion on AJ changing his profile picture to the Joker. I'll give this last one here, and I'm gonna jump off. I'll put it up on the screen too, just so people can see it. Let's see. In case you missed, there we go. There's the new profile pic. So, Joker mode activated. AJ Brown. I think it's honestly cool, I guess. Like, he's going into this Joker mode. Sure, he'll be the villain. I assume that's what he's meaning is you know what? Fine. You took my words. Did I mean it that way? Maybe not, but I'll be the villain if you need me to, or I will be the villain. You're going to come out and use that energy against the Steelers, so look out. I think they're going to get things figured out, but I don't know. Earlier, I will say there's a little bit of juxtaposition there that didn't make sense of AJ had, because shout out to Anthony DeBona, he sent me a screenshot of this. Before, it was a Joker profile pic, and it said Man of God in all caps. And, there's just something that doesn't quite sit right with the Joker profile pic and the Man of God. So he deleted it, which is good on him. I think that looks a lot better now. But, yeah, AJ's going to have a big game. So, shout out to Mr. Always Open. He should be good. See, there you go. Tyler, after seeing the change profile pic, betting AJ touchdowns. There you go. Like I said, I'm going to take something with the over. We'll just see what it is. Clatter, why so serious? Yep, that could also be the stipulation there. Now it's a black sheep. Muhammad, it is not the Kenny Pickett revenge game. Stop that. There's so many people that are like, oh, yeah, well, it's just Kenny Pickett. He should be the quarterback out there. That's not happening. Will not be. All right. I'm jumping off. Appreciate you guys, though. Y'all are the best. Do me a favor. Hit the like button on the way out if you've not already. Make sure to sub. Share with friends and family. Appreciate you guys. We are on the road to 100,000 subs. And I will be giving away the tickets to, or spinning for that tomorrow during the live stream. As I said, if you've not already, get in on the giveaway. Link in the description. Click on that video. It's the last one that I did. Type in Go Birds, and then you're automatically entered, which I will spin for tomorrow. So appreciate you guys. Like I say, as always, couldn't do this without you. This community is the best for a reason, and it's because of you guys. And as always, have a great night. Go Birds.